Hello, everyone. Welcome to My Immigration Story. I'm your host, Sujata Ramteke. This is an ongoing series where we bring to you stories of immigrants from varied backgrounds, and we hope to shed some light on the challenges and the triumphs experienced by immigrants in America. And today we have with us Womba Nawa. Welcome, Womba. How are you doing?
I'm good, Sujata. How are you?
I'm doing well, thank you. How have you
Yeah,
been?
I've been good. I've been good. Survived the winter, so
Yeah.
I'm happy.
All right.
Yeah.
Haven't we all, you know, but still the winter wasn't that bad this time. So,
It wasn't, surprisingly, it wasn't, which is good for me.
yeah. So, but tell us a little bit about yourself to our viewers. Where are you from and what do you currently do?
Okay, so I'm originally from Zambia, Lusaka to be specific. I came here in the United States in 2020, May of 2020. And I'm currently working for the Goodale Insurance Company. That's keeping me busy.
Oh, good.
So yeah, that's what I'm doing.
On what visa you came to US for the first time?
K1 visa. It was called a K1 visa.
Could you
So
explain to our viewers what the visa is?
initially, basically, a K1 visa is it's a visa that you come in if you want. So my husband and I, that's what we used when coming here because we were planning to get married. So the only way that he could get me into America was using the K1 visa. And it's only valid for 90 days. So the moment you just land in America, you have 90 days until you get married. So if you don't get married within the 90-day period you're given, you have to go back, like you're deported, you know? So within the 90 days, I should say less than 90 days, we did get married. And that's the visa I used to come here.
What is your current visa status? Are you still on the K1 or you have moved for green card or how is it?
Currently, I've moved. So the moment I got married, I had to apply for a green card, which I was given. I was only given a green card that's valid for 2 years. And that 2 years has elapsed. So I had to renew my green card. So I'm still waiting for the government to give me my renewal. And I hear it takes a couple of 2 years until I will
What
get
were
it
some of
back.
the challenges when you moved from your like expired, then you moved from your K1 visa to your current visa status? Like, what were the challenges you faced on the way?
It's just the process, the paperwork for me to just get the renewal. It's like there's so much work to it. The steps that you have to follow. So like for a green card, it has for me who came in using a K1 visa, there are conditions that are placed on the green card. So if you do not uplift those conditions, then you don't get any kind of benefit whatsoever here in America. So you have to make sure for those people who are coming out using a K1 visa and they get their green card, they have to really make sure they uplift the conditions attached to that green card. And then also the process, just the waiting. Like 2 months ago, I had to travel. I was going to Savannah, Georgia. And I had a challenge because I had to produce my green card at the airport. And then it was expired. I'm like, so they had to flag me and stop me. And I had to produce then my passport to say, hey, look, I'm not illegal. I'm actually legal. And I'm just waiting for my renewal to be given. So, yeah. So those are some of the challenges I currently am facing until I have my renewal card.
Is this the first time, like ever, you have come to US or you have been here before for a short term?
This is my first time. So when I came in 2020, first time to be in America, everything all new.
Did you get any cultural shock when you arrived here? Oh,
Very much.
walk us
Oh my
through.
goodness.
We love to hear cultural shock stories.
So, um, you know how we watch a lot of American movies. We see how American movies are portrayed. You know, it's a big life, good life. So when I first came, I saw the buildings. I was like, oh my goodness. I saw the roads. I'm like, what is this?
And
So
you're like, this is exactly what is showed in the TV.
exactly. I was like, oh my goodness, this is so nice. I'm like, I'm in America and it's just so fun. But then the other big shock was our cultures, how different our cultures are. I was like, what in the world is happening here? Because where I come from, there's a certain way you have to carry yourself, be it how you dress, how you talk, especially how you talk to the elders and other stuff. Then when I came here, it's different. Like people dress differently. They're more free, I should say. You know, they express themselves freely. And like where I come from, we don't really express ourselves. So that was a big cultural shock. And I'm still getting used to it till today, you know. It gets to me sometimes. I'm like, oh wow. But yeah.
Which ones like struck you like, oh my God, this doesn't happen in my place? Like, which are some of a couple of them that really struck you?
Sometimes how people would talk back to their parents or how parents and their kids interact here, they're free. You know, someone can, make jokes, laugh, hold, hug. So where I come from, as a grown-up woman, you can't really hug your dad. You just can't hug your dad. You have to kneel down and greet him. That's how it's done. And also the language, like you don't curse. We don't curse a lot. So it's just weird when you find people just cursing anyhow. Like, so I'm just like, oh no, this is not this is not something I'm used to. And also dressing. We don't put on most of the people back home don't usually put on short clothes.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can't expose your legs. You can't expose your legs, especially when you're in a household with your family. Like you just can't. So we have this traditional wrapper that you have to put around yourself to just cover yourself. You have to be fully dressed when you're around the elders. You just can't go flexing everything out. That no, you just can't do that. So that's also another thing I see here. I'm like, oh wow, it gets to me.
What are well, let's look at the flip side. What are some of the liberating things that you thought, like when you express that people are more expressive, people express themselves freely? Other than that, like what are some of the things that you thought that were like really different from your country, but in a positive way different?
In a positive way, I would say I like how people express themselves here. Like they're able to communicate, you're able to let someone know how you truly feel and you can have a step forward and fix that. I like that. Unlike where when back home it's so hard to like really talk to your parents. Even when they're in the wrong, you can't like point out and say, hey, you did this, it hurt my feelings. There's nothing like that. Your feelings are not supposed to be hurt. You're a child. So you have to keep your feelings to yourself. So
Very much
that,
like here.
oh yeah.
Yeah.
So I think I like that here. How you sort of can at least be able to express yourself and let them know or how you're feeling. If something is not going well with you, you can tell them, I need help in this, and they'll hear you. And I like it. I like it that way. Yeah.
What are you were born and raised and then there, and then you must have gone through a lot of issues. Ours is a bit of a conservative society. From where you and I come from. So in your like while growing up, have you experienced, or are there like still some social taboos that you think that, okay, developed world has moved on, but why are we still doing this? We need to progress. We need to have a progressive mindset, because in a lot of things, like back in India as well, when I
Mm.
go now, I find it pretty regressive,
Oh, yeah?
because I have seen things change when you live in a progressive society.
Yeah.
Uh, and when I have lived here, I have seen it. It's very difficult for me when I go back to adhere to that regressive mindset, and I tend to speak up, which I was
Oh,
doing it earlier.
earlier.
I never knew, because I never knew that this kind of progressive things exist somewhere in the world. I experienced it when I came here, and now when I go back, it's hard for me. So, do you have anything like that? What you think that it's still there, which shouldn't be there actually?
Um, I think that's a good question, That's a good question. Maybe ah, how we interact with elders.
Mm-hmm.
Like for example, where I come from in my culture, it's a culture thing. So I don't know if it can change, but like when you're serving, when you're presenting food, or you've set your table and then you have to go and call your parents and say, the food is ready. It's a must that you have to kneel down, like kneel and tell them that the food is ready. You know
It's
what I mean?
unnecessary.
Yeah, is that necessary? Like, I know it's a culture thing, but is that still necessary in this day and age? Like, how about if I can just say it in a polite way and say, hey, mom and dad, or, food is ready. But then I have to kneel down. I don't know. I feel like that's something that will be a bit tough for me when I go back, because I haven't done it here. And it feels, I feel like, oh, okay, good. But then when I go back to visit, it's a must that I have to do it. So I don't know how it's going to play out. Definitely. No, yeah. So,
Uh, you know, when we think of America, when we are back there in our countries and we think of America, we usually think of land of opportunities. If I go there, if I do something, I'm gonna, achieve my dreams, or goals and my objectives. And we usually like see in movies, commercial movies. Usually, it's a free society. Um, no discrimination. But when you get here, it's not a bed of roses. Um, there are a lot of challenges. If you are a person of color, or anyone other than American, I would say, um, American or white. So I do see sometimes somewhere subtle things happening,
mhm.
but what is your experience with all this? I know things have calmed down a lot considering last few years.
Yeah.
But what was your experience with all this?
Um, it's it's like a bittersweet pill to swallow.
Can you share your experience?
Yeah,
Anything that you faced?
you know, when like when I was back home, when you see Hollywood, all this thing, glamorous life, you think, oh yeah, when I get to America, I will be this, I'll do this, I'll do that. But it's really not easy. It's really not easy. Actually, my background, I did study law. So when I came here, I thought I was going to pursue, like, continue with my law practicing, but it wasn't it wasn't like that. It wasn't like that. It's things to do with are they going to accept my school, the school that I came from, changing the grades? I had to look at that. And also, do I qualify? Because our laws and the laws that are here are different. So we do the British common law. Well, here it's different. So I had to look into that, and the process was cumbersome. It just made me feel defeated. Like, what's the point of doing this again? So that was tough. So, but I pushed that aside. Not only that, the other challenging thing I have faced is I live in a town. I live in Situate, and I don't see a lot of Black people here. So it's one of those things. I remember this day I went to a store. Me coming, I'm like, not familiar with, how to use certain things, cards and all that stuff. I go into this shop. I didn't see the sign. It says cash only. And I only had a credit card. So it said cash only. So I'm like, okay, I'm in the line. I've ordered what I need. And now it's time to pay. And they're like, no, it's cash. And I'm like, but I don't have cash. Then I was so nervous. I didn't know what to do. I was like panicking. I was all over the place. But luckily, the people were so sweet. They told me, like, okay, you know what? You can get the food. When you have the cash, bring it. We'll trust you. So they trusted me, and I went back. I took cash to them. So that was a positive thing. But some negative things that I face is not everyone is friendly. They'll look at you like in a hard, like in a way, like you're not human. Like, hey, me and you are just the same. It's just the color, but like, it's so hard. Until now, I came in 2020. I still don't have friends. I try to make friends, but it's just hard. Like, everyone wants to do their own thing, or maybe they seem not interested in your life. It's just, and then others pass racist comments, which is so hard, and it really gets to you. I had a breakdown in 2021. I thought I wasn't going to make it. I was even telling my husband, I was like, I think I need to, I'd rather go back home and not be here, because I feel like I'm not welcomed, like not from you as a family, but like the people outside are not so friendly. I try to be friendly. Where we come from, we like to laugh, we like to mingle, we're just happy people. So when I came with that persona. I greet everyone. I'm just this bubbly person, but people will be like, like, oh no, oh, people don't like you here. They'll make fun of how you say things, like how you pronounce things. So that gets to me sometimes, it's hard, but what can you do? It just gets to me, and I feel so bad that even till this day, there's still people who are still mean. There's still people who are still mean. Like, it's really sad. I never thought it would ever happen to me. I used to just read and watch. But then when it happened to me personally, I was like, oh, wow. At first, and you know how it is. At first, you don't think it is what you think it is, because they make you feel guilty. They make you feel like something is wrong with you. There's something wrong with. So I used to question myself, am I not good enough? Is there something I'm doing that I'm not reaching up to their standard? Maybe I'm not understanding this well. But then when I had a phone call with my aunt who lives in the UK, and she's like, baby girl, no, that's what you call racism. Like, I was like, wait, what? So it was like a shock thing for me. It was sad. It was really sad and hard. But I'm grateful for my husband. He's been very supportive. And he just tells me, don't let those things get to you.
And still you're smiling and laughing.
I am. I am. I am.
You are a
I
very
am.
spirited woman. I
Yeah.
know you before,
Yeah.
was aware of the struggles.
Yeah.
But we can really hope that this gets better in coming years, in coming time, in near future. But this is the reality.
Yeah.
A lot of people who come from outside face, and I think it's important that to bring that out and
Yeah.
just make people aware that sometimes I think it's unknowingly if people do it, they might not even be aware that they're doing something that is hurting the other person. I think it's a
Yeah.
good point where you just make people, it's just about making people aware that someone
Yeah. And the
is.
other thing that I've, sorry to cut you short, but the other thing that I've noticed, I try, in as much as they give me this negative energy, I push back love. I just choose. I remember, I think I told you this before. I just choose love. I'm very deliberate. I just force love on them. And a number of people have turned back and, have smiled, have given me, they're like, oh, we didn't know you're really like this. I'm like, yeah, you don't judge a book by its cover. Get to know a person. Don't just out, you know, yeah, but
Yeah.
yeah.
That's really admiring. You choose to give love always.
Yeah.
um when you were coming to US, did you, yeah, we talked about it at the start that it was, you were excited, but did you have any like specific like American dream sort of thing that when I go there, I want to specifically do this or accomplish this? Did you have any of that? And do you think that it's fulfilled or still in the process?
I think I fulfilled most of it. One of the things I wanted was to go on, this like the Superman. I
Oh,
went to
right.
Six
Yeah,
Flags.
Six Flags, right?
Yes. And it was so much fun. That was so much because we don't have it where I come from. So
Mm.
having to experience that was so much fun. And also I've traveled different states. So that has been also a good experience. I went to the White House, but not inside, but just so that was like, oh, I made it. It was a good feeling. It was a good feeling. Yeah. Yeah.
Wuma, thank you so much for, sharing your story, coming to our show.
Yeah.
Um, any last parting thoughts for our audience, but in your language?
In
Any
my
life
language.
lesson you want to say?
Okay. So imwe bamene muli ku diaspora amene mfuna bwera ku America mufuniko cha kukosa bantu kuno ni movuta but mukose. All you have to do mulangize love and work hard. Yeah.
Is that what it means?
Yeah, no, so I was just letting them know when you come here, it's not all roses, it's not all like you have to work hard, have a positive mind, and also share love, spread love to everyone, and just work hard.
Amazing. Thank you so much, Mumbai. It was so great to hear your story, all the
Thank
challenges you have been through, with all the visa stuff and, the personal challenges, everything. And still you have emerged as bright as you are.
you.
And we love your smile.
Oh,
Um,
thank you.
I really, really hope that you make lots and lots of friends, and you always be happy like the way you are right now.
Thank you. Thank you, Sujati. Thank you so
Thank you
much.
for thank you for coming on the show.
All right. Bye.
Thank you everyone for watching My Immigration Story. I'm your host, Sujata Ramteke. You can watch this show on local channels and on our website, fcatv.org. I'll see you next time.